Hello, dear viewers! Welcome to this video, which is a sort of audiobook of the lore embedded in the Bloodstained Chivalry artifact set in Genshin Impact. The story in this artifact set is about Roland, the Bloodstained Knight, who recently had a spotlight in Varka's story quest. It delves into his single-minded pursuit of what he views as justice, and his meeting with the Abyss. Let's dive right in, shall we? The description of the flower of this set, Bloodstained Flower of Iron, reads as follows. A dried flower stained black with blood, and now as hard as steel. Probably some sort of memento for its former master. All right, let's read on to the story. A common white flower given to the knight by a rescued damsel. It is dried and hardened by the blood from all his bloodshed. Thanking him for his valor, the damsel offered a reward. He turned down all she gave, save for a pure white flower. For a knight, chivalry is its own reward. This flower shall be my medal. That is all I need. He wore the flower upon his heart. Just like his armor, it was stained as black as a winter's night. Like his heart, it was hardened like a tempered blade. All right, on to the next artifact piece. The description of the feather of this set, Bloodstained Black Plume, reads as follows. A raven feather pinned to a knight's cape. Countless bloodstains have dyed it pitch black. Let's read on. One of the countless raven feathers stuck to the bloodstained knight, for where there is blood, ravens shall follow. In the end, the bloodstained knight could no longer tell whether the blood that stained him was his own or that of his enemies. Eventually, on his long journey filled with bloodshed, he came to a realization. His so-called chivalry had turned him from the white knight he used to be into the monster he had now become. His only followers were the ravens drawn to the bloodshed he left in his wake. Let's read on to the sands of this set, Bloodstained Final Hour. The description reads as follows. A timepiece once used by a knight. The liquid inside has dried up, rendering it useless. On to the story. Deep in the abyss, where celestial bodies cast no light, the bloodstained knight kept his timepiece, though time had lost all meaning. At an end was the bloodstained knight's story, for he realized there was no place for him on this earth. He ventured into the fallen ancient kingdom and died in battle in the monster's lair. At the bottom of the world, he learned the origin of the monsters that destroyed the ancient kingdom. The ancient kingdom was wrongfully cursed, turning its inhabitants into monsters. The code of chivalry tolerates not such injustice. If Abyss be thy name, I pledge to you my loyalty. On to the goblet of this set, Bloodstained Chevalier's Goblet. The description of this reads as follows. The dark metallic vessel owned by the bloodstained knight. Its exterior has been stained as black as the night by smoke and coagulated blood. Let's dive into the story. Originally an exquisite silver goblet with gold engravings depicting the feats of a chivalrous knight. But blood and smoke have stained the cup beyond recognition. Covered in blood, the knight who slayed demons returned from the scourged battlefield, only to find that those awaiting his rescue were nowhere to be found among the burning, collapsed houses. Defeated, the Bloodstained Knight took the smoke-blackened goblet and vowed to rid the world of monsters, of poverty, and of evil. All right, on to the last piece of this set, the circlet. Bloodstained Iron Mask. The description of it reads as follows. The iron mask the knight used to conceal their identity. Many have speculated about the face behind the mask. Let's read on. A luxurious platinum mask that once belonged to a knight of noble birth. The dark stains of dry blood are now a permanent part of its appearance. As the Bloodstained Knight reached out to help a person in need after slaying the monster, the way she cowered in fear made the knight realize he was now a monster himself, tainted by the blood and cruelty of his drawn-out war. Shield me from the eyes of those I vowed to protect, and shield them from the horrors I am bound to effect. That is the end of the story in the Bloodstained Chivalry artifact set. Interesting that he made his way all the way to Conria and joined up with the Abyss in the end. Poor guy. I'm glad that Varka's story quest ties this story up for us. He really didn't have to be so alone. Anyways, if you enjoyed this reading, or if you're a fan of Genshin Impact, feel free to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Special thanks to Stwabrt for requesting this reading. Sorry it was a long time coming. I had quite the abyssal cough. If you have any requests for any books that I could read for Genshin Impact, leave me a suggestion. Until next time, enjoy the game, enjoy life, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, darlings!